Hey there, it's Jackye Mumphrey, the real estate maven, and I wanted to come to you guys today to talk to you about down payment assistance programs available here in Georgia. I have a few that I want to talk to you about. I am not a mortgage lender, loan officer, but I do know enough to be a little bit dangerous. But I wanted to give you guys some resources, and you can go on your own and go to handy dandy Google and look up these programs to get more information to see if what you specifically qualify for, because everybody's situation is very different. So this is going to be very broad information to give you an introduction as to what you can do if you're interested in down payment assistance. I do find that the largest cross section of my clients do not qualify for down payment assistance, usually because they make too much money. They do not want to live in the areas where they would have to live, or have plans to live in the houses for the amount of time that they need to be able to cure any grant program monies that they use from the government to buy the properties. But I'm going to go down the list, and if there's any that you find interesting, give me a call at 678-929-8330, and I can give you over to a loan officer that specializes with that particular type of down payment assistance program. Or if you have some simple questions, I can definitely answer for you. But let's get into it. So if you guys are living, and this is if you live in Georgia, okay? I mean, you guys may have, heard of FHA loans, heard of VA loans, USDA loans. If maybe not, but I'll try to touch on a little bit of these here in addition to the down payment assistance program. So the first one is the Georgia Dream program, and there you can get up to $15,000 in down payment assistance. You can go into Google and put Georgia Dream down payment assistance program. That one, like I said, offering up to $15,000. You have to live in DeKalb County, Douglas, Clayton, or Fulton counties to get up to $250,000 as a purchase price. It has to be a home that has been previously an owner-occupied property. So that means that you couldn't really buy like an investment property or brand new construction is what I take that to mean. And as far as income in those areas of DeKalb, Douglas, Clayton, or Fulton counties, you're looking at 1 to 2 person households, income limited at $76,000, or 3 persons or more, income limited at $87,500. If you live in one of the counties outside of the ones that I just mentioned, I believe the max loan amount is $200,000, but you guys can go online and confirm. There is the HUD Good Neighbor program, or Good Neighbor Next Door program, and those allow for people to go ahead and buy a home at 50% discount. You have to be a nurse, police officer, EMT, doctor, or a teacher, and you have to agree to live in the house for 36 months. I do suggest that you do some research on where those houses are. Some people like them, some people don't, but it does give a first responder a very deep discount on buying a HUD home. HUD also has a $100 down program, which is tied to like an FHA loan, and you can talk to your lender about that, how to qualify for that. There is a National Home Buyers Fund. That one, they'll give you 5% down. There does have an income criteria. You have to be below a certain threshold. So that's National Home Buyers Fund. Then there is the VA loans, which are for veterans or active duty, where they don't have to do a down payment if their sales price is going to be below a certain threshold, usually in like the middle $400,000 range. Even though that's supposed to be changing, they're supposed to be able to do 100% financing no matter what the price is, and that's in flux right now. But there is the VA program for veterans or active duty, 100% financing. There is the USDA 100% no down payment, and that one's going to be limited to, again, an income cap as well as areas. Those loans are for, that's like USDA, like the meat people that inspect your meat. USDA loans are available for people who want to live in rural Georgia. So it wouldn't be in the Atlanta metropolitan area. You'd be looking like Carroll County, Bremen, probably Rome, Georgia, Middle Georgia, and places that are not in a metro Atlanta area. So that's called the USDA 100% no down payment loan. There is one through Quintic Bank. They have the First Home Club where you can qualify for up to $7,500 through their bank grant. And how that works is you have to set up a savings account, but they will match you for every dollar that you put in. They'll put in $4. For every dollar you put in, they'll put in $4 up to $7,500. There are some other caveats that you'll have to qualify for, but it's called Quintic Bank, and they're located, I believe they have an office on Venture Drive in Gwinnett County. And then there is Invest Atlanta. They have several programs through their company. There is the home, they have a home grant. That one is 3.5% of the sales price that they will give you to use towards closing costs, which are the costs that are given to you in order for the bank to go ahead and give you money to borrow in the house. There's like a cost. You have to pay for appraisals, you have to pay for underwriting, processing. There is also paying for the loan officer to process your file, their assistance, things like that, closing costs. But they'll give you up to 3.5%. So if a house, for instance, is $100,000, then they'll give you $3,500 per every $100,000 towards closing costs and down payment. There is the FHA Loan grant that they also do at Invest Atlanta, which they'll give you up to 3.5% in grant money. There's the Vine City program, which they'll give you $10,000, and that's going to be primarily in the 30314 zip code. But you have to agree to be in the house for 5 years in order for them to give you the money. And if you're there for less than 5 years, like say you decided to rent it out or sell it, you've got to pay the difference back. They do a proration, kind of like how people do proration of rent when you move in to an apartment. They're going to do a proration, so they're going to break it up by 5 years. So if you're only in there for 2 years, you're going to owe the prorated amount for those 3 years, and they're going to take it out of the equity when you sell. There is also the Atlanta Affordable Homeowners Program. They call that the AHOP, and they'll give you up to $14,000 in down payment assistance money, but you must live in the house for 5 years for that program. There is the In-Town Mortgage Program, which they will give you $10,000 if you want to live in In-Town Atlanta, but you have to agree to live in the house for 10 years, okay? So 10 years, you can't rent it out, can't move out. You have to live in a house for 10 years in order for them to forgive that grant program, that loan. And then there is, if you're Native American and live here in Georgia on the Tama Reservation, they have the NADL loan as well that you may be able to qualify for. There is certainly qualifications you have to be able to get those loans, and that's going to be the reservation that is in South Georgia for those who live in Georgia. The NADL loan also applies for those who live on reservations throughout the country and Alaska. So Alaska is part of the country, but you get what I'm saying. The 48 plus Alaska and Hawaii. So that is pretty much it. Down payment assistance, if you're looking for it, those are just some quick and easy programs. You guys can just go onto Google and look up and get more information to see if you qualify. Just to recap, going from the end to the beginning, you have the NADL loan. You have the In-Town Mortgage Program, which they'll give you up to $10,000 if you live there for 10 years. They have the Atlanta Affordable Home Ownership Program, also known as AHOP. You must live in the property for 5 years, and they'll give you up to $14,000. You have the Vine City Program. That's the 30314 zip code. They'll give you $10,000 if you're going to live there for 5 years. You have the HFA grant program, which will give you 3.5% of the sales price to use towards closing costs and your down payment. You also have the Invest Atlanta's program with the home owners program. That one is 3.5% as well as the sales price. There's Quintic Bank that will give you up to $7,500. The USDA, the VA, the National Home Buyers Fund. Then there is the HUD's Good Neighbor Next Door program for first responders, where you can get 50% off on the property. They have the Georgia Dream, where you can get up to $15,000 if you live in DeKalb, Douglas, Clayton, Fulton, with a sales price up to $250,000 for a owner occupied property with an income limitation of $76,000 for one person and $87,500 for a family of 3 or more. So that's just a quick little roundup of that. I hope you found this helpful. If you've got any questions, again, just give me a call at 678-929-8330. I'm Jackye Mumphrey, the Real Estate Maven. Thanks for watching.